Hello, everybody, and welcome to the season premiere of the Get Pucked podcast. Season 4? 3? 4? How long have we been doing this? I should know this.
You
I'm
should
embarrassed
know
a little
this.
bit.
And you know what? I should know this.
You should know this. I think it's our 3rd season.
It's our 5th, guys.
Get out of here.
No way.
No way.
Our 5th season.
5 years. Wow,
Nice.
time flies.
Well, not necessarily 5 years per se, because we started late on the first season, but yeah.
5 seasons. Season premiere. Thanks to everybody for sticking with us, following us through this journey. And we're off to the races, starting another season just around the corner. And Luca here this time around, right from the get-go. Happy Luca's here as always.
Thank you. My mic is working properly now, guys.
Your mic. We made
Sorry
sure to
about
make
that
sure.
last episode, listeners. I had 2 mics going on at the same time. They're canceling each other out, and I only found out after we ended the episode.
Yes,
because these guys, these buffoons, refused to tell me.
I said something.
You did. It's actually in the episode. You did say something.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Anyways, putting all the happiness aside just for half a second. Obviously, some rather substantial news has happened in the Montreal Canadiens world since the last time we got together. First and foremost, we'll take this time and opportunity to officially offer our condolences to the Dryden family with the passing of Ken Dryden that happened a couple days ago. Obviously, if you are on YouTube and watching, you can take a look at us and probably surmise we are all too young to have actually witnessed Dryden play. That said, perhaps doesn't diminish the fact of what he meant for this organization, the greatness that he is and was. And I don't know if you guys have anything you want to maybe mention, talk about, share what his impact on the team, anything you might have heard from your parents, grandparents, whatever.
Well, we know that it was a different time and a different era, but at the same time, you can't take away that this guy played 8 years and in 8 years won 6 Stanley Cups, right? And he won
5 Vezinas.
5 Vezinas. Like, you can't take it. No goalie's going to be able to pull that off.
The year after he won the Calder.
And he was playing hockey essentially from what I remember my parents telling me was just so he could get money to go to law school. Like, this was a brilliant man.
He took a year off during his career to go to law school.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He's my favorite player.
He's actually your favorite player for real?
He's actually my all-time favorite player.
Did not know that. For someone of your age, how did that come to be? Tell us.
Honestly, my mom used to tell me stories about watching him play and how calm he was and how he would just like wait for them to come to him, save the puck like it was nothing, and then go back to just like waiting. So like I have a signed puck. I'm one of the very few in the world that have a signed puck because he refused to sign anything. And
that is a fact. Now, I think if in his like later years when he would autograph something, he would only do it if he was able to put the person's name on it too, so that they couldn't like resell type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, that's really cool. I
was always told the women really loved him. Everyone had a crush on him. that's what my mom kept saying.
It was those big chops he had back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, the fact that he was killers. What was he, 6'4", 6'5"? He was
I think he was 6'4", yeah. So big man of the time too. When goalies typically were not big dudes. So yeah, I mean, just sad that another legend is gone. But based on everything you read, everything you saw, nothing but an outpour of absolute admiration and respect for him. So that was a little bit, I don't want to say maybe out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't know necessarily he was battling something, but it was also one of those, I don't want to say coincidence, or I don't know what you would call it, but
wild
the fact
timing.
The timing is really where I'm getting with this, because of course it leads into what I obviously want to talk to you guys about. Carey Price is no longer with the Canadiens organization, and that happened on the same day that Dryden would his passing with Carey Price leaving. I think he passed on the Friday, and we just found out Saturday morning.
Oh, right.
I think is how it went down. Not to put the two in the same bucket there, but just suffice to say, two probably, massively renowned goaltenders of this organization through different means have moved on and left, obviously. But the whole Price contract thing, we've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody's been talking about this for a long time. And it was always like, I think pretty much all of us were saying for quite some time during the course of the summer, if it were to happen, it would happen after September 1st. Once his bonus is paid out, that's when you'll see some action. And then, of course, it was only a handful of days after September 1st that his contract was actually moved to San Jose. So, Dave, start with you. Now that it happened, and I know we've talked in the past, speculations, but now that the ink is dry and Carey Price is in fact no longer with the team, and more importantly, his cap is no longer with the team. We are just a couple weeks away from the season starting. Are we going to see a trade? Are we going to see some action? Or do you think at this point, you saw Kirby Dach back on the ice, he's skating around looking kind of okay, they're going to hold on to that and maybe weaponize it throughout the course of the season?
I think if there's a move to be made, they'll make one. I think they had something in mind throughout the year, throughout the offseason. But at the end of the day, it takes two parties to make a trade, right? And there's an asking price, and if Ken Hughes is not willing to pay it, I don't think he'll go for it. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something happen. I mean, this is kind of his jam, is just at this time of the year pulling up a trade right before training camp. But I'm not 100% sure we see it. And I really do think that they want to give Kirby Dach a shot there and see what they have with him. So I think that they'll be looking, but I'm not 100% sure that they'll be pulling off a trade before the season starts.
Okay. Luca, what do you think that the trade might imply now that has actually happened?
I don't think anything's going to happen, to be honest, only because I don't think he's going to do anything unless it's a big trade. Like, I think he wants to go after somebody like Mason McTavish, which is not going to happen apparently, because apparently the ask is way too high. It's not going to happen. I think they're settling. Settling's the wrong word. They're content. They're contented with Kirby Dach, and they're gonna start the season with him. I don't think he's gonna do, because this is the last piece, right? 2C.
I mean, yeah, arguably you can make maybe some comments about goaltending. Maybe, you can always do something with your bottom six, I suppose. But yeah, this is the last big piece in my estimation. Yeah.
Right. I think this last big piece, he wants to make the right move, and I don't think he's going to do anything until something very attractive comes along. So.
Okay. Fair to say. Vito?
I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that he maybe wants to do the right move, but it wouldn't surprise me if he were to go and do a stopgap move where he still improves that 2C, and it's for a short term until they really see what they got with Michael Hage. Everybody pencils in Michael Hage as the future 2C of the Montreal Canadiens. It's a little early for that, but I would put it at, I think there's about an 80% chance that there's a move that's going to be done to address the 2C from now till the start of camp. I think that Kirby Dach, they know that they can't risk going into the season with Kirby Dach as the 2C. I think that's more of a backup plan. It's like if they can't get anything, then that's where you're going to slot him in. But it's a risk because the guy he hasn't been healthy for a full season since he got into the NHL. So if they do lose him, and it happens again, and I hope it doesn't, but if they do, then think about it. Who's going to play 2C? You're going to move Newhook there now? They're just going to be even worse off than they are today with Kirby Dach potentially there. So I would have to think that there's going to be a move. Ken Hughes already made the big move. I said it in trading Carey Price. I said it earlier in the offseason that if Carey Price's contract gets moved, it's because they're going to go make another move. Because technically they could have made it work even keeping Carey Price and make the money work and figure out the cap situation and whatnot. Like there was people way smarter than us when it comes to the cap that figured it all out and how it could work. It wasn't going to be ideal, but they could have done it. So I think that they're obviously in a better position having moved that cap. They have that flexibility. They don't have to operate in LTIR anymore. But I do think that he's gonna really work hard to make another move and be ready for camp by having a 2C or even somebody that's just a better option at 2C and maybe has a 2-3 year contract under their belt right now versus somebody's long term.
So let me put you a little bit on the hot spot then. I don't know how much you've actually thought into this beyond the concept of what you're saying, but 80% likelihood you're throwing out there, plus you're offering up a suggestion that I think differs than perhaps what most people are thinking, that if there is a move for a 2C, it's for a young guy to fit the core, to stick around long term. You're suggesting you might even be, or they might even be considering bringing in somebody as a stopgap. Do you have a name or two?
I think they have the luxury to be able to do that. There's a few names that you see in the rumor mill. It's the same names more. You know, I know Dave's not a big fan of Jared McCann, but his name's been brought up. What's his name? Pavel Zacha is another name that's come up, and I know that's not ideal in a sense, but from a 2C perspective, it is adding a veteran. It is adding a guy who is a center, no question about it, who can be put up some 2C numbers, not elite 2C numbers, but good enough to, you know, to do what they need to do and what they need from that person. At the same time, I think getting guys like that could kind of help out to take off some of the pressure from Kirby Dach from being a center if he's still in play, and have a stronger wing with him there with less responsibility.
If they get a guy, well, that means you, in that scenario, then Dach plays
wing
on the third line.
They're gonna have to figure out their wing. They have him signed to so they just move everybody around on the wings, and if you notice now, even they're having everybody work on their faceoffs at practice. I mean, even Bolduc is working on their faceoffs, so they want the versatility the way Tampa Bay kind of has it. It would seem where the winger could win faceoffs and the centers could win faceoffs. It doesn't matter. Just anybody could go and play in the middle, at least from a faceoff perspective, and get possession. They're obviously trying to mitigate this and make people more versatile in the team. So if you bring in somebody like, let's say, Pavel Zacha or a Jared McCann and all that, they're an upgrade down the middle than what the Montreal Canadiens have after Nick Suzuki.
Dave, do you agree with what he's suggesting with those two players? Taking those two players as an example, would you go out and try to get them over rolling the dice with Kirby Dach?
I don't think so. I don't think I would. I again, you can't just keep filling up your roster. Like already, you're looking. The conundrum's already happened, and that means you can't even go out and make another move after that. Like you just can't jam up those roster spots with people that are stopgaps. I don't think that's how they're going to operate, and I think that you've seen it with kind of like everyone was talking about how Reinbacher could be a trade deal, and this regime seems to like their own guys, and they seem to like betting on themselves, right? And they went to go get Kirby Dach. They paid a high price to go get Kirby Dach, and they went to get him. And I think that they're going to, at the very least, give him that opportunity, unless there's a home run to be hit with someone like McTavish. But I'm not discounting it. I could see it happening. It wouldn't be the route that I would be going. I don't want to stopgap really. I think that this team could handle it. You got to kind of have to figure it out internally if you're not going to go for a home run. It's just more people on the team and more players to move around. And I guess that it's a good problem to have eventually down the line. But these guys are going to it's assets, and I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't believe that that's the way to do it.
I do think that if they had another highly touted prospect right-hand defenseman, then they would have probably made the deal for McTavish, and it probably would have included somebody like Reinbacher, because that's probably why it didn't happen. The starting point for Anaheim to even consider moving McTavish, you have to look at Reinbacher as one of the main pieces, and Montreal just doesn't want to move that.
They're not moving Reinbacher. I'm telling you,
that's why the trade hasn't happened. So that's what I'm saying. If there would have been another right-hand,
but he still isn't signed, by the way.
He isn't signed, but it doesn't matter.
The longer that goes, I feel like it's going to play more and more in the favor of potentially a move to happen, don't you think?
I think that while Anaheim maybe doesn't want to do it, there might have to be a bridge deal there, because at the end of the day, McTavish doesn't have any negotiating rights. He's an RFA, and Anaheim has a boatload of money. So it's not like that he can sign an offer sheet and, work that threat. It's not going to work. So Anaheim's completely in the driver's seat when it comes to McTavish.
I mean, if a player outright, and I don't believe he has, but if a player outright says, I don't want to be here anymore, I mean, they often find a way to move.
He hasn't said that.
No, he hasn't yet, but he also hasn't signed a contract yet. I mean,
it's not the first time we hear guys who still like the team that they're with not sign, and then they sign later on. Because
but it's
a holding pattern, whether it's money, term,
this
whatever.
is different. I think this is different. I think everybody understands, while he might not necessarily dislike the team, I think he dislikes the situation he finds himself in. Anaheim has had some very high-level draft picks of late. They've gotten a lot of centers. He's moved down the depth chart, and that maybe isn't where he sees himself.
I think Montreal has the pieces to make a move like that happen. I don't think they're willing to give up those pieces. I think based on things I've read and whatever, if McTavish does get moved because of the scenario you're pointing out to, it's more likely he ends up with Detroit than he does with Montreal.
Okay. I guess I got my follow-up question to you, Luca. First off, the stopgap scenario that sort of Vito's talking about, are you for or against that?
I'm against it.
Okay, fair. I won't even dive into the reason, but I do offer another person as a potential stopgap. If this guy comes, are you still against it? And I come back to the pipe dream that is Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not.
That's not a stopgap.
Yeah,
that's been my dream from day one.
How many years does he have before he starts to impede the players that you would want to have in there, the Michael Hages or whatever? Or if it's Crosby, and you blow up anything, it doesn't matter. You get him for anything. You take him as long as he's there.
Well, anything.
I don't know. I wouldn't trade prospects, like really good prospects, but man, I don't know.
Well,
you have to. I understand, but it's Crosby, man. Imagine Crosby and a Habs.
He writes his own ticket. He decides his own fate. He doesn't move unless he wants to. You're looking at a Pittsburgh team, and I only mention this again because now that Price's contract is actually moved out, and now that they actually have a little bit of wiggle room, and if they unload a contract or two and they play a little bit with the guys they currently have and send the ones down where they can bury some of their cap in the AHL, they could feasibly make that work money-wise. Without doing crazy things.
Don't forget that the value of this year's first round pick is huge. It's huge this year. Everybody wants that extra dart, an extra ticket for that Gavin McKenna sweepstakes, or even the second guy. I forgot his name at this moment, but they want that Gavin McKenna ticket. So right now, that first round pick is huge value. And the only thing is that there is a deal that can be made for Sidney Crosby, but it's Sidney Crosby himself that has to say, okay, I'm willing to move. To move. Right?
Exactly.
So unless he comes out, but yes, he's the guy I've been saying that I said way before last season even ended, that if Montreal can get somebody, and it should be Sidney Crosby, as we're saying 2C, but he could even be the 1C of the Montreal Canadiens even for another year or two. Like, you know what I mean? He's putting up similar numbers to what Suzuki's pulling up now, and Suzuki's in his prime.
Yeah. I mean, and it's speculative. I mean, obviously, like I mentioned, right? Like you're saying too, he writes his own ticket. It's just curious because there are instances where you talk to people, you are out there, and a lot of people are taking the stance, like you're suggesting, or maybe not so much you actually, but more Luke and Dave, that you don't want to get somebody just for the sake of getting somebody. You don't want to overpay for just a temporary solution.
Okay, but Sidney Crosby is not a temporary solution.
No,
Sidney Crosby
he's a different animal.
Turns this team into a Stanley Cup contender. So it's not a stopgap. That's not a stopgap. It's a home run. Maybe it's not a home run that lasts as part of your core into the 2030s.
Obviously, it couldn't. Yeah,
but it's not a stopgap at all whatsoever. Sidney Crosby is the the ultimate 2C that you can get in this situation, no matter what. So. I mean, obviously, you throw what you can at Sidney Crosby and see if you can get him. But
putting his game aside and what he could bring from on the ice to this team, it's even off the ice what he would do for this team is insane.
For sure. But to bring it back to the ice for a second, again, right? It was fun to talk about during the summer to fill a little bit of the summer dead space. But now that we're getting closer to the start of the season, you look on paper what Pittsburgh is likely going to be and what they've got left in the next couple of years and how many years he has left to play. You see that you have a need now. Like Dave just mentioned, you get Crosby on this team. Suddenly, this is not just a fight for the playoff team. This, I believe, like you believe, he does bring that team to another level. They compete. What do you offer? What do you bring to the table to pry? Because Crosby, I also have to think, is not the kind of guy who's going to say, I want out of Pittsburgh. I want a chance to win a cup. I always want to be a Montreal Canadian, a Colorado, Montreal, whatever, play with McKinnon or go to Montreal. Oh, Montreal wants me. Great. I'll go there. Yeah, make this happen. And then everybody knows about it and they lowball him. He's going to want to leave Pittsburgh in a good place. He's going to want a trade to happen to when he leaves. He's also going to make the future of Pittsburgh better, you would think. So give me something realistic. What would it actually take? Because now we're in the real world. Price contract is gone. This has happened now. We can actually talk for real. What would you offer? What would make this a good fit for everybody?
I'd have to include that next year's first. It would have to.
And Kirby Dach.
That's a start. Kirby Dach. I mean, sure.
And I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh will be like, you have to take somebody.
Don't forget who's the general
you
manager.
You have to include Kirby Dach. Yes, we've spoken about this before. Yes, for sure. I mean, like, okay, sure, throwing Kirby Dach in there. That's not. Yeah, okay.
It's not going to be. I'm just saying it's a package. So you're going to have to throw in a player like that at the very least. One, it's about the money. Two, it's at the end of the day, he's still a former 3rd overall pick. He's still young. He's still. Well,
what's the salary?
He's at 3.6 something for one more year.
And they've got if they
his advanced analytics are not so bad, and Kyle Dubas is nothing but an advanced analytics guy.
But think about it for half a second. I don't have the exact numbers on hand, but if they play with what they have now and they send guys down that they can to maximize what they got, I think it's like 5-1 that they can get to. Kirby Dach's salary 3.6 brings you to 8.7. I'm just saying. That's a little. I'm just saying.
Okay. It's a little bit too perfect.
Okay.
I'm not saying it'd be just Kirby Dach in the first. There'd be more to it. It'd be a bigger package for sure.
Yeah.
So before anybody goes into the comments and stops 30 seconds ago and rips me,
but there's going to be. What's the full thing? Let's. You know what? Forget about going to each of you. Let's whiteboard it for a second. First next year, we're all in agreement. It starts with that.
Throw the Kirby Dach for if anything. It at all.
No protection.
No protection.
I would say top 5 protected at least.
Top. Well, no, because they want.
No, top 5 because it's a very deep draft next year.
Top 1 protected.
So if Pittsburgh finishes dead last next year, which they.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm not doing that. I could trade Sidney Crosby somewhere else where I don't get a.
Colorado ain't gonna be a top 5.
Neither will Montreal with Sidney Crosby in the roster.
Yeah, but Crosby gets to decide where he wants to go, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, all these things factor.
Okay,
let's
so fine.
Say
we're agreeing.
First, next year, Kirby Dach, because of a player needs to go out and his salary. Fine, he's gone too.
It'll probably cost someone like Hage. I'm sorry to say it.
Dude, come on. I mean, Crosby, yes, he's one of the best to ever play the game, but at the same time, he is 38 years old. He can't command that much of a big, like that much in return.
He can.
Not that much.
The guy's aging like fine. What he's posting numbers.
I understand. I get it.
And it's not because he's on my wall. He's posting numbers at 38 years old that our number one, the Montreal Canadiens, our team that we cheer for.
I agree with you.
Our number 1 center is doing that in his prime.
I agree with you, but he's going to be 39. He's going to be 40. Like we're getting him, and then he's going to
on one hand be like, yeah, but he's going to be 39, and then you're cheering for Ovechkin to get 50 goals because he's 40. You know what I mean? You
can't trade the next.
I know that's going to play a huge
value on.
I wouldn't trade I think it was a Martin Lemay who once brought it up, or I can't remember. One of those guys brought it up where they said Cole Caulfield and this.
No, that's ridiculous. That's stupid.
Like
Michael Hage, you cannot trade Michael Hage.
You cannot dismantle parts of the team now because you're bringing them in to make this team competitive.
I get
it's got to be futures. So you got your 2026 first. You got a player out with money with Dach fine.
There's an advanced analytics. There's an advanced analytics darling that's in Laval right now who is slotted for Montreal to put him at some point 3C. Who could put some have him at 2. I doubt it, but in Owen Beck. It still doesn't move the needle, but you're gonna have to put these pieces that don't have. You have to think of the players that Montreal's going to have trouble fitting into the lineup.
So there's
another piece.
There's 2 factors here. It's basically going to be Kyle Dubas's he's just a terrible general manager. So but also the thing is, if Sidney Crosby is only saying, I'm only going to Montreal, like they're going to be handcuffed a little bit. So there is a world where the return is a lot less than we think. But if they're competing with Colorado, if they're competing with you're going to have to give up some stuff to do it.
I think Montreal could compete with Colorado because I don't think Colorado, unless Pittsburgh says, hey, I want NHL.
Those are not the only two teams, though.
But you know I would think for Sidney Crosby, those are the only two teams. It's either go play with my buddy Nathan, go play with the team I cheered for.
And
there's a third team that I would maybe think there's a variable there, but I just don't see it happening. And it'd be the Florida Panthers. They just don't have the cap anymore. It's done.
No, I can't see Florida. But to Dave's point, it's like, yes, there's the obvious that if he's choosing his spot, that helps the Canadiens. But like I said before, there's just something about it. And I don't know this at all to be truth. Maybe he's just like, I just want to end my career. I've done enough for you, Pittsburgh. Like, let me go live my dream and make this happen. But I like to think in my head that he's the kind of guy that will say, I want this, Kyle, make this happen, but maximize the return.
Also, like, Hage is not guaranteed. And this is another thing that, like, a lot of people are just locked in. This guy's your 2C.
That's fair.
So, like, if I put you to the thing and I say a first and Hage gets you Sidney Crosby, you're saying no, Luca?
No, I'm not. Okay, look, I have three untouchables when it comes to prospects. It's Hage, Jacob Fowler.
So it's
the reason why he's untouchable, not because of the player that he is, but because of the story of his father, of everything that happened. To me, Ken Hughes will not. Yeah, I'm very sentimental.
Emotions is what's going to kill you in this.
But Ken Hughes will never move that. Will never move that kid because of that reason. Do you know?
Ken Hughes will move that kid for Sidney Crosby.
If you find out,
I don't think so.
If you find out,
you'll find another way.
That you had the opportunity to get Crosby for 3 years, even in the twilight of his career, and all it would have cost you was a first and Hage and a player X. And the reason it didn't happen was because, like you, he doesn't want to move Hage for whatever his reason. As fast as they were going to build the Ken Hughes statue, they would tear it down. You cannot.
But like we said, Kyle Dubas is crazy for analytics, right? And Owen Beck is an analytics darling, right? So why not him? Why does it have to be Hage?
Because I don't think Owen Beck holds a candle to Hage now. Hage is the one of the top prospects in our organization, in the Canadiens organization.
That's what I mean, man. I wouldn't be able to.
You got to give. You got to give. You're replacing something now, and Dave's excellent when it comes to this stuff. I think the three of us might think that Hage has a higher potential of hitting than maybe Dave does, but Dave is right to suggest that he has never played. You don't know what's going to happen. If the offer is Hage, first of next year, the Doc contract, and even another prospect, you've got to do it.
I know, but I feel like as the years go on, it feels like this is the kind of thing that would bite us in the keister. You know, like something that we'd be like, we had Crosby, but man, that Hage is a great.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe I'm too much of a Crosby fan, so I have a bias here.
I can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
I have a bias here. But as much as I like Hage, and as much as there's a story behind him, and as much as I believe that he's got a solid ceiling and whatnot, getting Sidney Crosby, even for 2-3 years, at the production, at what he's producing and how he's still able to play the game at such a high level, there's more value in those 2-3 years for the Montreal Canadiens organization long term than there is to wait to see if Michael Hage pans out or not. Just think about it. How I'm going to go back to Shea Weber. Shea Weber came to the Montreal Canadiens and helped instill a culture. And I know Dave laughed about this. You got to be professionals in the past and things like that. But he instilled a culture that is still sticking around now. And somebody like Nick Suzuki is still trying to pass on that culture and still keep things that way. Somebody like Sidney Crosby, who was
take that, Dave? You gonna take that?
Who was arguably one of the best captains.
I'm clear where I stand
of all time, and one of the best players, if not debatably the best player of all time, comes into your organization, still producing 90 points a season, and teaches everybody how to play the game the right way, going and win still a couple of golds and whatnot. Yeah, you take that from Michael Hage.
So guys, the Habs, they have a little bit of a curse when it comes to injuries.
How dare you?
Well, I mean,
how dare you bring that up?
And imagine Crosby comes here, game one.
Do something.
The same thing could happen to Michael Hage. Michael Hage,
I know,
I don't want to jinx the guy, but it could happen to anybody.
Don't put that evil out there, guys.
I'm not trying to.
Listen. Injuries can happen. 100%. I understand what you're saying. You're, and of course, you're entitled to your opinion, obviously. But I think most people will say,
to you guys,
do what you got to do to land Crosby. You do what you got to.
My second favorite player.
Who is?
Carey Price.
Oh, okay.
That's a discussion we'll have to have one day about this Carey Price legacy stuff.
I mean, we should be talking about Carey Price at least a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll line it up for another time, because I suspect when I mention should his jersey be retired and things like this, I can already see Dave smiling over here, because I get the suspicion.
The guy just got traded.
He's okay,
and he had to approve the trade.
Okay. You saw his tweet.
Well, always not playing hockey anymore. What does that have to do with anything?
He's always a Hab. He's just a teal one for now.
Exactly. And the best part of that tweet was for now.
Exactly. I got one last thing I want to mention. I want to throw out there. I want your opinion on it. I wish I could pull up a picture. I don't have it. I believe the three of you have seen that the Bell Center got a new logo at center ice.
Yeah.
Reactions.
It's gonna be fun seeing the puck on that.
I have to see it in. I will reserve my judgment until I see it in action, like with play on it, because it looks sick. I like it. I like the look of it. I think it looks cool. I like the 24 ridges for the cups, whatever. I would have went even further and made it more obvious about the 24 cups, rub it in people's faces like they do, with the World Cups in soccer. But I like it. But I mean, who knows? Once you're watching the game. Like that's how I want to see it. Is it going to be horrendous? It could be horrendous. It could be tacky. It could be.
It's bold, man. They went bold
in the above view with the nice paved ice. It looks great.
It's very nice.
But is it going to come off as tacky and very?
It looks like a logo you'd see on a podcast.
Well,
So that's how I felt about it too. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that looks awesome. And then I'm like, that's gonna look weird watching a game, like watching the players our red jerseys, like the Canadiens red jerseys skating across the Canadiens red logo on the center ice is gonna look
it's bold.
It takes up the whole center ice.
It really draws the attention. It's not like something you just skate over.
It's
and
unique.
It's
don't hate it,
unique.
But it has. We have to see.
We have to see it in action.
It could be extremely tacky and corny.
Okay. I like it. I do have some concerns as a fan who would pay tickets or even watching it from home. But I mean, it's gonna be for people watching. It's gonna be hard to see the puck. The players on the ice are gonna see the puck, not a problem. Mm-hmm. You got to imagine that it'd be hard to see that puck.
We'll see what happens once the ice is actually, and they skate over and stuff but
the way they did it's sick. It's sick. It's very nice.
It's definitely different.
Are they the only team that did something like that?
I haven't seen a team's ice where the center ice, the complete circle, is just basically taken up by a logo.
Like it pops, man.
And it's it's red. Like
it's red.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. That's I was just curious, and I posed the same question to those that made it to the end of the episode today. What do you guys think of the new logo? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know as well about Ken Dryden. Some of our listeners were around and watched him play, and that's really cool to see that. Let us know what you remember, if there was a memory that stands out for you about Ken Dryden. We'd love to read those in the comments as well, and about Carey Price in general. Also, feel free to let us know about what Price meant to you, what your favorite memory of Price was, and what you think the contract finally now being moved, what you believe that will open up the possibilities for. And equally, your thoughts about the Sidney Crosby potential, if we can call it that. I don't even know if there's potential. But
not potential. You brought it up again, and we said, okay, well, what it's not potential where you don't make it seem like
it's not a 0%. And as long as it's not a 0%, there's potential. Please let us know in the comments below what you think would get it done, if anything. As always, like, subscribe, the rest. This was episode 1 of season 5. I can't believe it for us. And thank you so much for coming along with us. And we hope to catch you at the next one. So for Dave, Luca, Vito, I'm Matt. And this was
Get pucked.